Hello, everyone. Welcome to our series of Jugendamt victims. It's about the victims of the Jugendamt in Germany. And we are making it on our YouTube channel, which is with me, Faris Elmasri. And we are also making it on a podcast called Jugendamt Mafia. So today we are having interview with Kati. Hi, Kati.
Hi.
Uh, can you start by introducing yourself and tell us a bit about your story?
Yes, I can. Hello, I'm Kati. I gave birth to my baby when I was 24, and I live since now approximately like 30 years in Germany. And I regularly work, and I had a little boy, and that happened in NRW, in Germany. And yeah, I'm very sad about, and it's really hard to live with it.
What happened exactly?
Um, uh, that the welfare system attacked me and took my baby,
How
the
how old
Jugendamt.
was how old
My
was you?
my son was just a little baby. I gave birth to him, and he was fine. And I took him at home after hospital, and then something happened, and then he was uh, picked by Jugendamt.
How old? Like some 1 week, 2 weeks? Was
No,
he?
he was like 2.5 months, so really small baby.
And what happened? Like, what was the excuse, or what is the reason?
I called the police because of a burglary,
Oh, okay.
and mm, I had the feeling that someone was like attacking me or wanted to push me or anything, but I was feeling very insecure because I needed to feed the baby. I did not know who was there in my flat, and I did not really want to call police, but I decided, because I had an operation to give birth, and I really was afraid. And then I called the police, and the police overreacted, really very disgusting. Were making jokes about me that I called them because of a burglary, and they just decided to took the baby. They did not took care for the burglary. I asked them if there's anything I can do, that they don't take him, or whatever I do, you will take him. And I was really taking care for him day and night, and I was really shocked. And they just kept him, and they noticed in their documentation that everything was fine. The flat was fine, the baby was fine. It was just that they think that I am mentally not clear, and they took him just because of that. Whether I was calling them for a burglary.
All of that because you were worried, you maybe heard something, or you whatever happened, and you thought that someone is trying to steal something or get in your flat, and then what normally
Mm,
what people do, they call the police to help them
mhm.
or to check if there is someone, and this is what they
Yes,
did. And they did
yes,
it in the same time directly, or they called the Jugendamt and
directly,
then directly
directly.
they
They,
took your baby. The
yeah,
police, not the Jugendamt.
directly. Directly, yes. And they gave a call to Jugendamt, and then they took the baby. And on the next morning, I could visit him there, and I gave with my son a pillow, something to eat, some milk powder and everything. And he just lied there without a cover, and people next office with an open door, or they were smoking. Nobody was holding him an arm. He was not covered with a cover. It was disappointing, and I was shocked. It was for me unforgivable, and I could not understand. And I think for me immediately it was a nightmare. It was an absolute nightmare, and obvious that this is not social and not cannot is not really honest law or anything. It was shocking, and my first feeling, despite, was that something is wrong in my life, and when I wait to try to solve it, it will affect my little baby.
How long ago was that?
Now my son is 8 years old, and I need to struggle always very hard to have contact, to see him. And every year I apply to have him back, and I
You failed.
yeah. Uh, no, I could achieve to have frequent contact. I started to do videos, and I
Yeah.
posted them, and then I became a call from Jugendamt that they would like to have a meeting with me, and when I stopped doing the videos, I can see him. And
So they are
before I
blackmailing
paid
you.
lawyers.
Erpressen.
Yes, I paid lawyers, and it was really hard, and I'm shocked about the situation in the courts, because it's my opinion, my private opinion, that it is very honest, and that there is a theme behind they don't talk about. And all through all the years, I I have an opinion about all that, and now I'm in that victim situation, and it is still not possible to believe every other person who has the problem. You cannot believe that the people who are engaged to care for the youth, for the right of the children, do something like that. But I try to now to believe that others have the same problem.
It is. It is. Um, I will give you a couple of examples, but let me just go back in time. So when they took your baby, um,
Hmm.
and that was like a direct thing, no court ruling, no whatever. What happened
Nothing.
after that?
They took him, and he was for him cared a woman who is taking frequently babies in her own family, which is paid for by the city government. And I was allowed to see him up to 3 times a week, and I brought
Hmm.
to him anything I thought I can do, or later I was cooking for him some food, and I brought it to him. And they said they need to observe that meetings, and when they have a good feeling, they will give their permission that I can have him back. And when they don't like, they will not give their permission. And I came there every day, and I gave everything I could. Whether I had an operation, I started to work to afford everything I can, to pay a lawyer,
Yeah.
and then a woman from the court was there, and she was doing a documentation about our meeting, and she was giving a note about that for the court. And she said, it's all right, it's fine. I think it was a nice meeting. And this is something, as it is salary, but it is, I think, it is the last chances sometimes you can notice in all that contacts that rare nice people try to help or try to honor or anything. But she said, then I don't think that anybody will respect my decision that you could care for your child, and that we had a very nice meeting, and this I will write to the court. And
So she wrote that to the court.
yes, she said that there are some aspects which had been very good and very nice, and but other professions made their decisions too. And in conclusion of all the opinions, there will be the decision that I will not get my baby back. Nothing happened. I never offended my baby. I'm a drug-free person. I did not smoke during a pregnancy. I was never doing anything. And they just were making out a joke of me in observing me.
Was there any reports about mental issues that they could get against you or anything?
Yes, I was forced to have psychological treatment, and I started then to go on my own to testings too, and I paid another test, and I was doing research on it, and for me, I don't have any problem. I don't have any symptom or any problem, but they forced me to have a treatment and to be
To go through
treated
treatment
on.
and get some medication.
Yes, yes, yes. And they just forced me and forced me, and they did not help us. It is just the argumentation, and they would be
Okay,
for
so
my baby.
sorry,
Nobody
you were
is.
disconnecting for a second.
Mm,
You
yes,
disconnected for like 2 seconds. Oh.
sorry. Yeah, it was the argumentation, but it is no help. They are not interested in helping or solving any problem. It is just the argumentation to keep my baby, and it's not anything. They help me with it.
Um, was it the one who made a good report or was recommending that you get your son back? Was it a good actor or who was it?
I did not understand the question. Please, can you
So you
explain?
said there was a woman who made a report and to the court
Mm?
saying that you should get your son back and that you are
Mm-hmm.
fine. Is this woman is a good actor or is it someone who makes good actor? Is it the word? Is it or
Yes,
who?
she was family Gutachter, Familiengutachter, family Gutachter. She is only looking if the situation is good for the baby.
Okay.
And
Um,
we had really a nice meeting. We were laughing. Nothing bad happened. He did not cry. He had a lot of fun. But
so he
I
was
can wonder.
taken by the police and given to the Jugendamt, and you saw him
And
the
then,
next day in the Jugendamt, put on the floor, no cover, and there were people in the next room smoking, right? And
yes,
nobody cared. And then he was
yes.
given to a woman that is taking care of babies or children, and this woman takes care more of more than one baby or just one.
I don't know, and if I think she said it just no many years ago that she sometimes takes even care for two babies, but frequently only for one after another, since years.
And what happened after that? She took care of him for like some time, and then where did he go?
He he was given away.
To a
I
family.
think I think so. I think so. And then I started to yeah, go on to apply and to try to have my child back. And then I changed the lawyers a few times
Mm-hmm.
because I had the feeling that something is wrong. And when I skip and change a lot of things all the time in my life, I can have some benefits. I can feel better, and can have better services. And then I had a Turkish lawyer, and I think he was great, but I was afraid too that he will be attacked too, and I never would take him again because of that. Because think I, I think I could recognize that the situation for the lawyers in the court is even very hard too, that they can become attacked too.
Mm-hmm.
And then I decided to do more on my own, that I try really to do everything on my own. And then it had a little conclusion that I could achieve with my videos, that the Jugendamt was calling me and pleased me, okay, you can see him again, but please do not post videos about that anymore. And then I could all my work, to earn money again, to travel to my son and visit my son. And
Why
then
they
I
put
saw
him
my
far
son.
away?
Yes, they put him in another district of Germany,
How far? How many
and
kilometers?
mm, maybe like 150 or 200. Not that far,
Wow.
but far
No,
enough.
it is far. I mean, it is a far for a mother and a son. Between a mother and a
Yes,
son, it is far.
yes. And I'm not sure because I don't have any trust anymore in their goodwill or in their goodwill generally in their work. It is not really all the time obvious and for every person the same who is working there. And the first, I was very happy to see him again, but they did not express clear to me, and they always do not say the truth all the time. And I'm not really convinced that he was there in a um, um,
I was going to
I
ask, was he in a Heim or in a with a
in a
family, beflika family?
I my first belief was that he had been to a family and
Mm-hmm.
it failed, and he had a
Okay.
bad development. And then
Uh-huh.
a court decided that my son will have to need his mother again. And this is what I think about that. That they made a mistake on him, and then a social a worker from the Kurd decided that the people are forced to have contact to me because the child now, from psychological and physical reasons, need now to have contact with his true mother. This
Of
is what
course,
I
he's
think.
separated from his mother. Of
Yeah,
course, he will have bad
and
effect.
yeah, and this is what I think, but I don't know. They told to me that yeah, always had been to the Heim, but I'm not sure.
Do you think it is the intention of the Jugendamt that it separates children from their parents?
Um, I have, it is very hard to face. I have the hope sometimes that is everywhere maybe a bit different and that they sometimes really help. But there are reports from all over Germany and Austria and other countries too, that they separate the children from the parents. And um, I don't
Do
know.
um do okay? Do you think that I mean, in the end, there has to be some court ruling. So, but
Mhm.
the Jugendamt is part of. It's like you against the Jugendamt in front of the court somehow. And do you think it's affecting the judge?
Of course, I think there's no independent work of any party. It is only the parents against every party, the police, the Jugendamt, the Kurd. They all are not working independent. When the Jugendamt is giving an information to the Kurd is not proving it. They just work with it like a brief, like a brief
Like
to
it's
what to
holy
do.
words coming from God. Like it has to be true.
Yeah, yeah. And
Um, yeah.
hmm. I live many years in Germany, and anyway, I have had a good teaching in many things, and I'm really shocked and I'm very sad about because many topics I thought they would be so normal. They don't support and, for example, Gewaltenteilung, separated powers.
Mm-hmm.
And for example, the quality is very bad. They don't give good argumentations. They just report from the BGB,
Mm-hmm.
Bürgergesetzbuch, and this is this is only the consent, the most simple law in Germany, and they do it like they would do a bread in the kitchen, the most simple thing, and other things like what kind of person do the medical reports for the Jugendamt and for the Kurd, and how they work, that they are empowered to do that on validated testing, but they do not validate in testing. They only write their intention, and some of them they don't have a real doctor degree. They just were doing any application to a Fernuni, and they just attended a video schooling, and that they don't say the truth. So many things, and of course, based to reality. That they could play on a high level when they would support really families and really children. They could play on a very high level, like supporting children with healthy food, like helping kids to have a shelter from brutality, and many other things, but they play on a very low level, and I think they do not help, and many people need help, but they would not help. It's power.
Okay. What did I want to say? So, do you think that um, the Jugendamt help in any way? Did they help you in anything through this process or through all
No,
this time? No.
no. I'm paying for my son every month since a few years. I
Really?
attended, yes, yes. I attended every meeting, every possible meeting I attend. I was driving many years there to every meeting. They did not pay a cent. They took my responsibility for my son, and now I don't have the right for a lawyer. I don't have the right to get anything paid, like traveling or anything. I don't get a cent. They gave the
Um,
responsibility to the father, and the
yeah, I
father
was
does
going
not
to
care.
ask what about the father or where was the father?
Yes, they gave the responsibility to him, but he's not taking care the same I do. He's not attending as much as he can, and he's not applying for his right to bring him home.
So
And
you are not living together.
no,
He was not
no,
with
no,
you
no.
from the birth or after.
Af- After between it was uh, I would like to explain it like a very modern situation, whether it is very unhappy, but I can ensure I was very happy with my baby. I decided anyway to have a baby because I started to work, and I started to work in any laboratories, and I decided to have a baby because my work will affect my health anyway, and I was very happy. But it would have been very welcome to have a good relation with the father, to have a love, a real love, but it did not work, and we distinguished. Yes.
Okay, so you were separated
Mm,
and
mm,
he is not trying to take him to live even with him or doing anything or that you have I don't know like
no,
double residence. This is double residence or Wechselmodell where he
mm,
lives sometime by you, sometime by him. Nothing of that.
no, he's doing a minimum. He's when he has any benefit out of it, he's doing the minimum to have the benefit. And
So
the Jugendamt took the responsibility on him, whether he's not supporting the kid with extra money or with present or with his attendance, of course. They took the responsibility to the father. They take from me as much as they can, but they do not. They are very ungentle, very ungentle. They take everything from me, and they even do not say thank you or nice or go on. You are on the right way. They say to the unpleasant parents like, "Ah, that is so silly. That's so boring. You steal our time." This is very very
okay,
hard.
I'm sorry. It's so he has a Sorgerecht. He has a custody kind of.
Yes,
But
yes.
they are the one who are taking care of him and putting him with a family or in a Jugendheim.
he agrees in everything they
They ask
offer.
him. Uh-huh.
Yeah, yes, they ask him and he's agreeing in everything. And I even don't know in what he does agree, maybe. I always try to have contact. He is, for example, he has his health insurance with me. He has
Oh,
his insurance with me. I pay for him his insurance too, because I don't have any trust in them. So it is for me not that um, much. And one day I can I think maybe I have a prof. Maybe when the situation is changing a bit in Germany, just a bit, that maybe more tough people can start to work in the courts, they can notice things like that, that it is unfair, that someone who's caring is not having any honor out of it. But
I
it is really
understand.
like that.
I mean, they want someone who say yes to everything they say. This is why
Yes,
it was
yes,
giving to him,
yes, I
so
think.
they can make more money. To be
Yes,
honest, and they are
I,
taking the kindergeld, and they are getting a lot of money. I was talking with someone before, and they said that for a little baby or someone, they get like uh 11,000 euro per month for taking care.
mm,
That
in,
was
in
an invoice from another mother. They took her two
no,
children.
not that much, but a lot of money. I'm not earning, I'm not wealthy,
No,
but
they take from
I
the
always,
government. It's uh,
yeah,
it's like a
yeah,
cost for the place,
yeah,
the rent, the
yeah.
specialist, whatever. Let's say some
Mm.
people say 2,000, 3,000 euro per month for per
It
child.
is
Some says even more.
it is addition to 4,000 euros a month. 4,000 euros a month, yes. And it is
So yeah,
for a kid a great life to have 4,000 euros.
but of course they
To
don't really benefit. The child doesn't really
no,
benefit that much. It's
no,
more
the child,
spread on the workers, the
yes,
specialists,
yes,
locations,
yeah,
heights on the heating,
yeah.
the whatever other things. Um, um, what and how do you feel about this situation now?
I'm stressed. I am not able to have a future plan because my heart is broken. I had, I think, any plan which could have been a good plan, but we had been very happy together. My son started to grow. He was good, and when he was gone, I started to work. That had been a few months or a year later too. That had been no problem, and I cannot enjoy my life because when I enjoy, I think, where is my son? Is he fine? I'm totally confused about every intention because I don't know if the bonding between my child is existing still, or is he fine? Is he offended? Is he any victim of brutality? Do they care for them? Is he having food? All the things I cannot enjoy, and I cannot plan really because I want him back. But a year is over, and the child need to have maybe a new bed or new clothes. And a few years, I tried to have always the situation that you always can come home, and it is sometimes it works. Sometimes the kids come home, but it's very rare. But I don't give in, and now I want to start again, maybe to prepare a bit his home because I had new argumentation and new profs, and But now, during a few years, I'm living really on the run, and I changed the district of Germany, and I could find something out. I could have a
Did you
new
try to
job.
go to be close to where he is, like to move to the same city where they moved him, or are you
Mm,
still
mm, mm,
far?
mm. Yeah, I changed now to Bavaria, and I
Okay,
live now for 2 years in Bavaria, where I grew up.
okay.
And I want to try to apply to the next biggest town where he's living, because I think when I go exactly where he is, they will not accept. They will make out of it any kind of crime. But the most biggest city next to the area, I think, is okay. And this I try to do because it is very hard to travel all the time. And I think for the bonding between the child and the mother, it is better to be not that far away. But with that lifestyle I could afford now for a few years, I could find some profs too that that you, me, or any other people are maybe on different purpose really a victim, and that the childs are taken for benefit, to have economic benefits in a very criminal crime way. Mm.
I mean,
Yeah.
the numbers are clear. I mean, we are talking about taking between
Mm.
30 to 70,000 child per year. I mean,
Mm.
what are they trying to say? That all families are like really that bad, or what? No, of course it's a business. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah.
there I mean there are many cases, but let me ask you this. Does that mean that
Mm.
your parents are not German?
Yes, I'm a mixture, and I came to Germany for an orphan. And I'm not really German, but I did not knew a long time. I did not knew a long time because I became Germanized, and um, I could just feel. Mm, and the opinion many people really express, like they took the child to have a worker, or you become anyway a bit or completely, or just for having someone Germanized, and this is something targeting more people who are not rooted Germans. I
Yeah.
would say yes, it is like that. I'm convinced. I'm anyway convinced that many people don't have maybe a sense to think about if they are really, really true Germans, or do you need to be a real German? And what does that mean? That you really need to be a Nazi descendant, not to have to be a victim in that cases. But I think I think sometimes that is a topic really honestly is already proved.
I have been told that many of the judges coming from Nazi families, to be honest.
Mm.
And
Yes.
I mean, in any case, it is business, whether Nazi or not. It is business. It's about money. It's about economy. It's about having more Germanized slaves
Mm. Yes, it is.
uh,
I made
or
already
workers.
yeah, I wrote now to different courts something I could figure out. And when they are honestly working, they have the documentation and they can prove it, that a known person from my childhood and youth days from a village next to the place I grew up, in her circumstance, some families are claiming that she um, stole their babies in a corruption way. And she changed her living place from Bavaria to Berlin, and in Berlin it is the same. And all the kids come to the same orphan home, to the same Heim in Germany.
Mm-hmm.
They all are taken away completely from the families. They all made their claiming about that woman were attacking them. And all the kids come to the same location, not next to the parents from all over Germany, to there. From my location, Cologne, from Berlin, but from this area where we all grew up too. And when I had been to school, we had a couple, they had a child, they had been very young, but they had been from a nice family. And the grandmother took care for the baby. And then the Jugendamt took the baby. And in this case, there was a criminal theme on the court, definitely discussed, and all the people had involved. And nowadays, it is not in my case, and it's not in all the cases, but in all the cases is the woman mentioned. And I try to go on because I think for my sanity, it would be a big relief to have a free life. Yeah.
Of course. Um, so have you met anyone from the Jugendamt who is nice or caring, or were they all not good?
Um, I made observing that some people, I think, who are trying to be more social and more peaceful, looking more poor. Some people from Jugendamt always look very wealthy and very strict, like they would go to a party or having like a fairy tale life or a voluntary working. And some people from Jugendamt, they are more individual, more normal, or they down rooted. They're down based to ground. They some of them maybe, uh, but maybe one or two of 50 people had been sympathetic to me and had been really true persons to me. Like life is not always nice, the work is not always nice. It is of course hard to stand the position. And I'm sorry to say, but I think I mentioned they all take the money, but the most of them don't stand this position. And on the other side, maybe a bit more people stand the position, but it's not when you don't make any experience like that, when you're blended by all this wealthy life here and all this we have, when you blend it, you cannot imagine. I try to recruit people to enable them that they can imagine mistakes like that in our system, because when you don't know and you did not become affected, how can you imagine that the caring, the child care person is a hard crime? It is so
They don't
difficult.
understand. They will not believe it, and I'm
Yes,
sorry to say, like Germans really believe that Germany is a
perfect
country of
place.
law, like a Rechtsstaat, and
Mm.
yes, perfect place somehow. But so if
It,
they will never criticize the court or the
mhm.
um,
Yeah,
Gericht Amt or
yeah.
Justitis or or the Jugendamt or anything,
Yeah,
and
I think.
they think they are always good. They are helping. Like they were always accused the
Uh-huh.
mother or the father or the parents uh, who the children were taken from them. They will think it they did something wrong. This is always
Mhm.
they think like that. Not just Germans, others too. I have talked with different people from different areas, like of Middle East or other countries, and when you say, "Oh, children are taken by the Jugendamt," they think,
Yeah.
"Oh, the families must have done something wrong." They don't understand
Yes.
it's a business. They don't understand it's about money and having more uh,
Mm.
I don't know, workers, slaves, whatever, because
Mm.
let's be honest, the numbers are real. The numbers that fertility rate is getting low, the birth rate is getting low in Germany, and
Yes.
they need more. They need more. Um, do do you think that the Jugendamt is respecting the law in any way?
Um, um, Not much enough like they need to do. I don't think so. I always believe that I have anyway a bond to law. I'm living here since many years. I go here to get here, become here to school. Um, and I think I have a natural understanding of law. I can feel what's wrong and what's right anyway. Anyway, by my own, I know. And I think there's really these groups who are blended, who cannot imagine. Then this really rare persons who stand the situation and always risk maybe their job to do the right thing or to maybe to stand the situation and bear with all the people to have to give small benefits and there's people who really do on purpose crimes in their incumbents offices, and this is really unforgivable. Um, for example, that they honor the truth. They do not honor the truth. My son, he had best food, good clothes, and I had all the time for him. And he had everything a baby needed, everything. Um, for example, that they could honor and help really somebody else. I think they could be honest to help. They are not honest in the will to help.
Um, have you heard, you know, different families or heard or different stories of families that they took their children, right?
Yes.
Do you know of other families that they give their children back or they help them taking care of their children or just the other way?
Um, I really need to think about if I ever knew someone in my life, in my whole life, who had them back. But it's very separate, distinguished. That I only know persons where I had been shocked that the kids had been taken away and
Okay.
they'd never get them back. I even know a couple where the kid died. The kid
What?
just, yeah, yes, the kid died in the Heim, in an orphan house,
Oh my
in
God.
the responsibility of Jugendamt.
How old?
I think he was like 6 or 7, something like that.
6, 7 years
It is,
old.
yes, it's a long time ago, but definitely is that in the Heim, the average of dying kids is higher than outside, for example.
Oh my
Um,
God.
yeah, it is. It is not fun to get to go that, and this is something they are not honestly playing fair. that they give kids who are really bad conditioned a chance, or they could be so supportive. They could help so many people, but they don't do. And
They just want to get as many children as possible.
yeah. And on the other side, for example, I heard that to be hardly drug addicted is not a reason to keep the baby. But in some families, for example, I know, or it is on the news, that the parents have drug problems, so very hard drug problems and other problems then too, but the kids are not taken, and that families are most Germans. And this, for my
Here,
opinion,
here is a,
should
here comes
should
here comes the fact. When it's a German
yeah
family, pure
yeah
German, rein
yeah
Deutsche, as they
yeah
say, they will not take the child.
yeah.
But
But the
yeah,
child would had a benefit on it. The child would had a benefit on it, but they have a bad mind opinion.
yeah. Let me say it in a very clear and direct way. I don't say that all Germans are bad or anything, but I'm saying that such people in the Jugendamt or in
Mm,
the German court, they think
mm,
that Deutsche sind die Obermenschen
yeah.
and other people are the Untermenschen. Like they think that people who are Germans, pure Germans, are higher people than others. And the people who come from other countries or foreigners or whatever, they are from the lower people. Like
Mm,
this is how they think. And this I could see with my own eyes in the German courts. And it can be very clear.
it is
But
very hard. Yeah.
and so it gets back to the Nazi way of thinking, but they will not admit it. And if I say that and I get exposed, I will be arrested and get problems.
Mm. I always try to change, to support a change, or to do something in my leisure. And I mentioned too that all the people I meet in Jugendamt, in courts, and police are white people. It is very, very rare that you meet any mixed nationality in these offices. And I
Yes.
always send every news to the government's pages just to show them that they need to work out this democracy reasons, because it is proved that the German population in Germany, the true Germans, are affected by the problems of the past so hard too, that it is a relief to have all the other mixed nationalities here. And it is, I think, for this less good people from, in my opinion, all in the offices, so hard to stand the situation when this uh, mixture of people, the democratic mixture of the people, all the people in Germany, is not in the offices. It is, but it is very obvious that they want to stay alone, that they do anything, and that they always want to be in right, whether it is good or bad, and that it is very strict and like fascism.
Mhm.
Yes, and it's very obvious that they want to stay alone in the offices of the government.
Okay. So um, to to finalize, I have one or two quick questions. Do you think that
Mm.
your child was treated good or being taken good care of?
Um, mm, some in being served with a house, with a room, with clothes, driving in a car. These things, yes. Mm, but in everything, with having the time and the audience from people who really like and being very supportive for the kid, I don't think so.
Emotional
Um,
support he is not getting, and um, family, like does he has uba,
yeah,
grandparents?
no,
Does he have uncles?
no,
Does he have anything family wise? No, right?
no, no.
And
And
yeah,
mm, even I think they were treating me sometimes really bad because he was so really pushed when I met him the first time after a longer time then. When he came to another district of Germany, he was very pushed, and I really was begging him for his audience, and I bought him something, and um, I uh, I was applying for for his love, and it worked. He gave me the chances a wonder, and but I recognize that he was really angry, like an orphan who needed to survive alone. And as a few times he had blue blots, and sometimes I think he was maybe too thin, mm. and he had operation, and I think they were annoying him. They were annoying him a lot, and that he became even a bit hormone stress,
yeah,
and then he had a little operation, and then he had some I forgot the word on English. It is narbe,
yeah.
skin
Is it
irritations.
Is it like scratches and
No,
no,
from
it's
operation.
yes, yes. Wow, I forgot the word too.
Yeah. Um,
Um, yeah.
and I think they really abuse the kids, some of the kids, to have tissue. He had very typical round scratches on the backbone for bone marrow. It's like a circle, and he had that, and he had another scratch on thymus.
Wow, that's
Yes,
not good at all. So he had scars. He had
yeah,
oh,
yeah,
okay.
yeah.
So he
And I always
could
report
been
that. I
used.
explain. Mm.
Okay, so just I mean this is all sad, but like really sad. And just
Yeah.
so to finalize, what advice do you have for any families that has similar situation or issues with the Jugendamt?
Mm. Mm. Like trying, of course, what is really difficult to find persons to stick together and not giving in. Of course, holding the contact with the child. That is very important for the parents and for the child. And I made a good influence and a good result to change a lot the situation, to change the flat, to change the lawyer, to change the way, and they do something what is very cruelty. You cannot um, assemble that. You cannot be cruelty like they had been that is not possible. You cannot do that. But it is, you need to be so brave, maybe for over years, like having an interview, trying to go to news. Every parent should try to go to news, that the public can attend the cases, and the government need to be confronted with that problem.
So okay, so imagine, I mean, to sum it in one or two sentences, you did one call to the police and it destroyed your life and your
Yes,
relationship with your child. So
yes,
it
yes.
so this means people. I had another interview before, and it also a mother took her child to the hospital, and then she never be
Mm,
got her
mm,
child back. The baby girl or the girl was taken away from her since
yeah,
she was in the hospital. Also, the Indian family and their daughter, and the same.
yeah,
So going to police or the Jugendamt or the hospital, it is so can be so dangerous that you lose your child. And
yes,
one advice, to be very clear, is it if you start in a situation like that and your child is still with you, if you start having an issue or Jugendamt is involved, I'm sorry to say, run, leave Germany, take your child and go before you lose your child.
yeah, yeah, yeah. This is, I agree. It is very important to have any target abroad, maybe to have like a liquid flow system, like having more options, living on the run, being able to go away. I think so too. That is very important.
I see. Um, okay, so because now it's been like an hour. Was it? No, just a second. I think it's, yeah, it's an hour now. So I am very sorry, and I hope that you be able soon to get your son. You said back in your life, in your flat, in your house, and live
Yeah,
together as a mother and son.
yeah.
You said that they made you not see him for a while until you started making videos, and then they contacted you to see him, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Maybe it was, I'm not sure, but I think it is supportive to have a public uh, community to observe that. Um, and I think really it is the not the minority who is thinking that all that is necessary and honest. I think more people would not support it. And I think the government still needs to support the majority and not the minority. And when all the people show their destiny or have any public interview, or the newspapers are full of interviews with the parents and the children's destinies, they are forced. They need to work on it.
Okay. Yeah, so it's about that everyone in Germany, outside Germany, needs to know. So they are be aware, and then it is exposed and people are aware about it. I
Yes,
see.
they,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
I agree. Okay. Yeah, so thank you so much. And
Thank you.
I think we should do that in German, but
Mm-hmm.
I will end this for now.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks everyone. You could always follow the other hear and watch the other episodes. They are in different languages, and it's all about exposing the Jugendamt, which is
Oh.
actually is an organization for kidnapping and selling and trading with in children and making money out of it.
Mm.